Hey everyone, Freedom for Cats here. Hey, how's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing well. I came across some interesting articles today. I want to share with you guys. I don't know if you saw, but the Department of Defense is changing their press policy. It seems as though that a lot of the articles that have been coming out lately have been really strong against the Department of Defense, or have been asking a lot of tough questions that they don't really seem to want to answer. Now that doesn't surprise me with the two wars that are going on, and especially after General Stanley McChrystal's downfall. It seems as though that the Department of Defense is on the defense themselves as to answering questions. So there's going to be a link underneath to this, and there's a lot of heat coming off of this because the media, they have questions about the war and things that are going on in relation to the war and other things in relation to the military. But it seems as though that the Department of the Defense and Defense Secretary Robert Gates is going to be a little bit more tight-lipped, and they're going to decide, or at least question, what goes out to the media now. So it's actually kind of interesting to see that they're going to tighten up a little bit and actually give less information to the public. Like I said, it doesn't really surprise me, but I just wonder what it is that they're trying to hide. I just don't understand. Well, anyway, moving on to the next subject, I ran across a subject that includes Uncle Ted Nugent. Uncle Ted is from Michigan, as you know, and he's an outstanding, outspoken person. He's a rock and roll star. He's an outdoorsman. He's an activist. He's hunter, fisherman, guitarist. He's actually made a few books, and he's really not shy about speaking out. So he did an interview with Sean Hannity the other day, and it says right here that, and I quote, "Then they see an administration that is spitting on the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rules. So we, the Tea Partiers, we the people who are speaking up, like us truthers, I'm going to quote my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King. We who engage in nonviolent direct action are not the cause of the tension, but rather bringing to the surface a tension that was already there or already exists." Yeah, that's actually a very good statement by Uncle Ted. I personally like Uncle Ted. I'm a big hunter, a big fisherman myself. I think it's just really cool that that someone like this can not be afraid to speak his mind. I know he's spoken his mind a lot over the years, so just kind of interesting as he's a very interesting person. But I like Uncle Ted. The link will be underneath. Now, staying in the state of Michigan here, the Detroit Police Gang Squad shrinks. Yes, and what this means is that the Detroit Police Squad, they are cutting jobs. And one of the things that they've done is that they've actually gotten rid of the gang squad. They've reduced it from 60 officers down to about 20. Now, this causes an array of problems because this police gang squad, they would always try to be on the tail of these gangs and keeping crime on the low side. As in Detroit, that's almost virtually impossible. But, just think about how much crime is going to go up now that this gang squad is being reduced by 2/3, from 60 officers down to 20. Now, there's a lot of residents that have had a lot of feedback about this, and they are very, very worried about what's going to go on because it's also been rumored that because of the shape that Detroit is in, they are considering eliminating 911 operators and the service of 911 in the Detroit city. Now, if we combine those two things, but again, the 911 is just speculation, but let's say that it did happen. Well, that's not very cool. I mean, you're going to have fewer officers. You're going to have less tools to use to get a hold of an officer. And this just kind of, to me, it kind of plays into what's going on right now with all the madness that's going on with the country. You know, we're supposed to be trying to fight crime and fight all this very bad murders and rapes and things like that. Well, as you know, Detroit is a very tough place to live for sure. I mean, there's a lot of crime, a lot of things going on. You really got to watch your back. You really do when you live here. But this is just going to add to more problems and more problems and more problems here in Detroit. So it's pretty much going to become a free-for-all, if you ask me. Now, speaking about free-for-alls, I want to talk about security here. Now, this is very, very interesting. It says, Dubai rejects full-body scanners because they contradict Islam. Now, it says that they contradict Islam. That means that it's against their religion. Okay? Well, if it's against their religion, why isn't it against the American Constitution? Why are these full-body scanners, in a sense, from what I still understand, they're going to be used in the United States, even though it says in Islam that it's against their religious beliefs? Now, why do they not use these full body scanners because it's against their religion? That seems like a very odd reason to not have these things working in their airports. I mean, they have 2 airports, and this is where the Christmas Day bomber came from, was from one of these airports. Now, I don't understand why the American people don't stand up and have a big yelling and screaming about this, because there's some illustrations here, and again, this link will be underneath. You can see the genitalia of both the men and the women in these scanners, and I mean, it's just something else. It is really, really bad. But, for some reason, because they're Islam, it doesn't look like they're going to use them in their airports. So, I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know what the resolution to that is, but it just seems very, very odd. It seems very odd that just because it's against their religion, that they don't get to use these, because heaven forbid they're Islam. So I don't know. As you go through and read this article, you will also see there's a part here that says the commodity professionals were caught off guard Wednesday by a U.S. Department of Agriculture report showing 1 million fewer acres of corn planted this year than earlier projected, and almost 3 million fewer bushels of corn are in storage. And these articles don't begin to address the crops being damaged by the toxic rain from the Gulf oil disaster. Well, there's your proof right there. This comes from the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, and they are pointing out the fact that the toxic rain that is going to come from the Gulf oil disaster is for real. It's right here in black and white. It's right here in this article. This link will be underneath. It also continues to say that we're back to recession times with smaller amounts of food available. If you folks don't understand what's going on here, I suggest that you follow the link, and I suggest that you really research this. Alright, you folks have a good day. Stay cool. I know it's hot outside. Have a great day, guys.